It's the end of financial fair play, PSR. The restrictions for spending money for Manchester United, them days are completely over. I'm only joking, but the substantial difference that the news coming out of the Premier League meetings today is going to massively change the outlook for Manchester United, and in particular Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I want to get into all the details of what's happened and what's been voted on by the Premier League today and how it changes the landscape completely for the Reds. Let's get into it, everybody. Get in the comment section. We are live. I want to hear your comments on this, your excitement in it. Do you feel like this gives United the upper hand? I think it does. I want to get your opinions on that, though. And obviously, please make sure you get your comments in when the video finishes the live stream as well, everybody. What you can do as well, though, for free, is like the video and do subscribe as well. I'm the first person and the only person out there that has been getting into this in detail. This is something, I'm a bit of a geek with this sort of thing. The finances and financial stability and FFP and PSR and all of this. I have looked into this in depth and just been following this from the possible changeover. And do you know what? It was the 115 crew that alerted everybody to financial fair play. What was going on there just made everyone look at it in a completely different way and like, why is this happening? We were obviously hearing today that Sheffield United have been punished when they get relegated as well, with big fines and a 2-point fine for not paying their transfer fees as well. Well, this is all about to change, and I don't know what happens to what's happened before, the historical rules and everything like that. Obviously, City are dealing with that, but let's look at what this does for Manchester United and what this changes for Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos in particular going forward, because it is big. So, what's happened so far? First of all, Ian Pritch, who has been a member for 3 months, has just renewed. Thank you. Evening, guys and gals. Hello, everyone. Members, mods, subscribers in the chat. I love you all. Get your comments in. You fantastic, wonderful people. And yeah, let's get into what has actually happened then, shall we? Well, just to read into what is going on. The news that came out, so Premier League clubs had their meeting today and they were voting on, as you can see at the bottom of the screen going across on the scroll, the semi-automated offside rule, which is going to come in. It's what's being used by UEFA. It's what's used in all major international tournaments. For some reason, the richest league in the world has not spent money on investing into this technology, which is straightforward, very, very quick and precise. Something that the Premier League refereeing set up is just devoid of. Like, it just doesn't happen, does it? It's a joke. Anyway, enough of that. We'll get into that in a bit if you want to talk about that. But the other news that came out and the other thing that was breaking was, I did a show on this a while ago about Sir Jim Ratcliffe can spend big. No one really paid that much attention to it, or other people weren't paying much attention to it, because all anyone cares about is the big name players, who's going, who's staying, like the financial stuff. And so-called people were calling this a myth, financial fair play, not too long ago. It wasn't a myth then. It's not a myth now. And it really does affect everybody. I think everyone started to look at it, like I said, because of what's happening with Nottingham Forest and Everton in particular, and getting it done twice. Why has nothing happened to Man City? So, yeah, it is a real thing, and it does matter to all Premier League clubs. What this new rule change does, and I'll just read out what was said. Premier League clubs have agreed in principle to introduce new financial rules. They voted today to progress with the new squad cost ratio rules to replace current profit and sustainability rules. That means that the conversations that were going on regarding the investment from the Premier League to the EFL were put on hold. The independent regulator, which is coming in this year, is being put in by law, like the government are enforcing it. The Premier League have hit back at that and don't agree with it. So what they've said is, like, before they agree to any new package of paying down into the pyramid and the EFL, let's make sure that all Premier League clubs are safe as well, because their argument was that they're losing money. So why should we be giving more money to other clubs if they're losing money? They need more stability and they need a bit more flexibility with the finances of the restrictions PSR brings. So what that did then, so that 105 million loss rule over 3 years that Everton have fallen short of and Nottingham Forest will be phased out next season. And in comes the squad ratio rule, which is pretty much what financial fair play is in the Champions League and UEFA right now, and all clubs competing in their competitions. And what it means is that their ratio is different to what the PSR is. So for Premier League clubs, what they want to bring in June, when the next meeting is and everything will be finalised, is a 85% spending cap. 85%. Good God, let me just explain what that means. Like 85% of your revenues can be spent on agents' fees, wages, and transfer fees. That is monumental. To put that in perspective, if this rule was fully in this summer, which it's not going to be, there's going to be a transition and a shadow period, they're calling it, to overtake into the summer after. But what it does do, it gives us flexibility. In the future, say for instance, United use this model over their revenues that they've just announced over 2022-2023. Manchester United could spend £500 million on transfers and fees and agents' fees and wages and stuff. That's what it's pretty much saying. That isn't going to happen, but it gives you the freedom of that much, if you get what I'm saying by this. Now, anyone who's got massive, massive revenues is going to benefit from this even more. But what's happening is the amount of money coming in broadcasting-wise into the Premier League is giving clubs that little bit of leeway, that little bit of flexibility, because all clubs have now got a lot of money in the Premier League. We know this. So when it comes to transfer windows, the only thing hampering them was that £105 million loss over 3 years, which everyone has struggled to get in line with. FIFA couldn't enforce the cap on agents' fees, so it's made even harder for clubs to fall in line with this, because agents can still charge whatever they want and take whatever chunk they want out of any transfers they make. So if they can do it, FIFA can't uphold that rule. The Premier League have had to fall in line. They will not give any money to the EFL until they feel comfortable within their own financial rules and restrictions in their own league, which is why this is being fast-tracked through to June, and that then will take over into next season, back end of next season, probably officially being fully enforced by the window of 2025. Does that make sense? I think I've pretty much covered everything you need to know there, innit? But what that does open is the floodgates to all of the rumours, all of the spending that can happen, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe's riches all of a sudden, and what Manchester United are generating revenue-wise. And I feel like they knew that this was coming, Ineos. They knew that an announcement was probably not a million miles away when it came to PSR. So now we can invest into a stadium. Now we can generate masses and masses of revenues with a brand new stadium and everything else that brings. And you know, I've already talked about that in depth in terms of other sporting events, concerts, everything that Manchester United can build in that infrastructure on their grounds around the new Old Trafford area. Then it is going to be advantage Manchester United, advantage Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and spend more of what they actually earn. Yeah, that debt probably won't go anywhere. Like, we're still going to run at a debt. But if United can implement that structure that they want and bring in the right players and start to earn a little bit more money and be a bit more successful, then that's how they're looking at that long-term outlook for Manchester United, being that debt coming down slowly and gradually because we're being more successful. And that, I feel, is the biggest bit of news that we can take from this and this announcement today, because it is coming in, because Premier League clubs have seen their arse. So any ifs, buts and maybes about this actually happening before. And I did a video the other day and I was saying, look, if the financial fair play rules all change, and you can scrap that video that I did completely, this has just happened, so we can scrap that. I'm going to leave it there because I thought it was a good video, but we can actually think past them restrictions now on what Manchester United can do. So like for instance, the worry about how much money we can generate from sales this summer, it's still going to be there because the normal rules are going to be there going into this summer, and them rules will then be fizzed out into next year. But what it does do, it gives Manchester United's financial power more scope, and it gives us that flexibility to go out and maybe get that extra superstar, or that extra little bit of finance invested into another player. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden, like a João Neves, he's on the table. Like, that's there for Manchester United now. Like, Manchester United in the old rules, the 105 loss over a 3-year period that I'm talking about, weren't far off on this cycle right now because of them not really spending that much. So them looking after the money and tightening the purse strings has left them in a comfortable-ish position anyway, going into a normal PSR summer. Now, that transition into next summer, I think United can handle. So it opens up a completely new avenue for Manchester United when negotiating. Now, agents are going to go, well, United are going to be the richest again. We can try and get them. But what I'm saying is, like, don't expect United to go out and spend absolute millions. Like, go absolutely crazy. What it does, it just gives us that freedom. It's like having a brand new credit card with a massive maximum limit on it that's completely blank, and it's there burning a hole in your pocket. That's what it's like for United right now. We can spend again. It's absolutely huge. It benefits City just as much as it does United. It benefits anyone with massive revenue. So you look at all the stadiums that bring in absolute fortunes. So you can look at everyone who's in the Champions League now. So Liverpool, their new gateway seats, the Emirates, Spurs, City, a little bit more of Newcastle as well. Anyone who's got big stadiums is going to benefit hugely from this. Anyone who's in the Champions League is going to be running away from everybody because of the amount of money that they're bringing in and their revenues going up and up and up. Like, it just opens up a completely different world to football again. And them yellow banners on the bottom of Sky Sports, that big day, that transfer deadline day, is back because it just makes it a free-for-all again when it comes to spending on certain players. And I think the entertainment-wise and like the restrictions, it has been good to see, and it's been good to actually see clubs not actually spending beyond their means. I understand the whole part of financial fair play and everything like that, but I think realistically, it's not been as entertaining, has it? Like, a January transfer window that had about 30 million spend in total is pretty boring. It's like you can't get excited about anything. This just opens up a completely different world. And what it might do is, like, come January next season, like the next January transfer window that comes about, as this shadow PSR new ruling creeps in and overlaps the old one, which is said it's going to be doing over next season, then you may see January sales go up again. You may see clubs actually investing in January. So that's the big thing to take from it as well. It just helps out. With United, with their revenues and the debt, it didn't really matter how much Manchester United made, how many record revenues they wanted to announce. It didn't matter because of the debt and the financing and the leveraging that took place, and the outgoing to the football club kind of kiboshed the revenue. And the 105 million loss over 3 years killed Manchester United. Absolutely killed Manchester United. And right now that just opens it up again for us to spend more. Like I said, by no way stretch of the imagination do I feel like Manchester United are going to go out now and just spend all of their money that they can, that's available from their revenue, a certain percentage of that. I just feel like Manchester United now, with Ineos, can really structure our transfer strategy with the right people in place, the scouting on point. It just gives United, it just takes away a massive headache of trying to keep in line with certain things. Like, if there was a certain player that we needed to go and get, and it was a player that was high contracted, as in he's still got 3 or 4 years left on his deal, then United could go out and spend and get that player in. I think we still have to run it like it was before. I think it's right in doing it that way. But you know that you've got that freedom beyond if you need to. So I think in Manchester United's position, this benefits us more than any other club, I feel. It really does. And it gives us that upper hand again with not being in the Champions League. It means we can actually spend a little bit of money even if we're not getting the Champions League revenues. And again, it may be all like leverage towards the big clubs again, and a lot of the small clubs will say, oh, this isn't fair on them. Well, Everton and Nottingham Forest will probably look at it and go, well, with Everton's new stadium coming in, and you've got Nottingham Forest in their situation, like, it will free up them from financial restrictions as well, and that won't happen to them again. So even the smaller clubs will look at this and go, well, it's probably better to be this way than it was before. So that will make them all invest in new stadia, in new infrastructure, just to bring in more revenue streams. So all the money that owners have got, and say the amount of American owners in the Premier League, all the money that they've got, and they want to personally invest in the infrastructure, which is free for financial fair play, obviously, just to build more revenue streams, and they will now invest into that. So the money, I think, will be invested deeper into the the football clubs so they can generate natural revenues. I think it's all good, personally, on that side of it. You just hope that teams don't go absolutely mental again and United end up spending stupid amounts of money being idiots like we have done before. So let's see what happens from it. But it does give United an upper hand, I feel. And I think that now definitely puts United back in the market for some better players, I would say. Let's get into the chat and see what you guys think of everything I've just been saying. Gary Owen says, upper hand, question mark. No, the other clubs aren't stupid. This will benefit all the big clubs, especially the Champions League clubs. I'm pretty certain that's what I just said, Gary. But yep, you are right. Champions League, big revenue clubs. So anyone who's doing well, anyone who's got a big stadia, anyone who is got plenty of gate receipts, broadcasting revenues because they're going deep into competitions, anyone like that will benefit from these new rules massively. I hate to be a killjoy, but it doesn't seem fair on the smaller teams. The smaller teams, let's not forget, Everton, Nottingham Forest, they won't have to deal with what they're dealing with now. Because let's not forget, these smaller teams are getting a massive, massive amount of money from the Premier League and the broadcasting revenues. So let's not forget, like, these owners that are coming in cannot spend squad-wise, but they can invest in infrastructure, and it doesn't count to financial fair play. People need to look into the financial fair play side of things. So a sugar daddy, for instance, an oligarch comes in and wants to spend $1 billion on, say, let's say Brentford. They haven't got massive revenue streams, but they cannot go out and spend all this money on new players. That's what this rule stopped. But what financial fair play does allow you to do is invest in your youth team, your infrastructure. They don't take that off. So what they do is if you spend a certain amount of money on, say, a youth setup, new training ground, things like this, then that can be offset against what you spend in financial fair play, if that makes sense. So what it does is incentivize owners to spend in infrastructure, in new stadiums, in youth teams, in women's teams, because the women's team can also be set off against the finances within financial fair play rules. So this is why a lot of teams are building into that now, why we're seeing better academies and why we're seeing better young prospects coming through in the English side of things. Like, you look at England right now going all the way through from under 16s through to under 21s to England international team now. Why do you think St George's Park was built? Why do you think teams are investing more in their academies? Look at the academies right now. They are top-notch training facilities, which are the best in the business. They are being forced into doing this because that's how they can offset financial fair play, but also it benefits them massively because they are producing quality young talent from in our own country, and I think that's where they get the benefit from. So it gives them the freedom to build. If they want to spend money and invest in it fairly means investing it in the youth system and things like that, then that's where you get it from, and that's how you counteract financial fair play. And this extra rule gives them freedom to go out and spend to try and stay in the division as well. And I think it just opens up the January transfer window when needed. So that, for me, I think, looking at it, no one wants to see a club go out of business. No one wants to see a massive advantage go to certain clubs. And I know that it does with the revenue side of things, but there are rich owners in this Premier League now from top to bottom. And if they now want to invest in infrastructure and build up genuine revenue streams for a football club, then they should be welcomed in by the Premier League. It benefits the fans, it benefits the club, and ultimately benefits the Premier League and makes us stronger. We are already the best league in the world, and people cannot stand, other clubs in Europe cannot stand the amount of money that's in the Premier League, which is why they're trying to do the Super League. So, yeah, all of that rolled into one. Manchester United, we know we make massive amounts of money. This benefits us hugely. And just gives that little bit of a leg up for Sir Jim Radcliffe, I would say. Into the chat again. Yes, but still got to buy right players, not just about money. Look at us last 11 years. Agree, Adam. Daniel, agree. The structure has to be important in this. Super chat in from Stu. Thanks, Stu. How will this affect us when we build a new stadium? Infrastructure, mate. It all benefits us. So what I'm saying is, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to build a new stadium, and that's a 100,000-seater stadium, then Manchester United can go for it. And when that stadium is built, this PSR rule will absolutely smash everybody else out of the park. Like, Manchester United's revenues for match days now will be astronomical, and everything else that's built with it. The contracts are bringing in the NFL, the international tournaments that they want to hold there, and big international games. They want to try and bring FA Cup semi-finals, and I doubt we'll get a final, but things like that come into it. More and more revenues and revenue streams. So we can spend more. Like, how he invests his money into it is entirely up to him. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe wanted to spend all his money on building a new stadium, that's countered by financial fair play. So he can offset that because he's building into infrastructure. So that's where it's different. It helps us in every single way. Are United still getting Frimpong, Adam? Total switcheroo. Look, I told you everyone's just bothered about the transfers and who's actually coming in. I love that. Lack of scouting and young players, only superstars and old glories. Scouting, massive. Like I said, this news alongside, this is why I'm a bit more excited by it. It's like, yeah, I understand everyone who comes in the chat and says, yep, but you still got to scout and make sure you get the best deals. Of course you do. Of course you do. But with the structure alongside this new rule coming in, it couldn't have happened at a better time for Manchester United. That's the bonus in all of this. Like, the people that Man United are bringing in, the money that we've got to spend, the safeguard that this PSR rule coming in is going to give Manchester United, and the room and the freedom it's going to give us to invest properly into the football club with our own money that we generate, is all a positive, because now we've got people that can spend the money right, that we can sensibly invest in playing staff, infrastructure, everything like that. That's there already now. And then when this rule fully takes hold, which will be in 2025, by the sounds of it, we'll get the full announcement in June, obviously when the last meeting is held before the summer. But the way it's going and what's being said is that 2025, United will have their whole structure in. Ineos would have been in the door over a season. Ashworth will be there, Barada, Wilcox, everyone else, and it will be running like a normal football club. And then this on top, it's just a bonus for United. What a shout out, Harley from Kingpin at the Trafford Centre today. Went out today, met a subscriber and someone who watches the channel. So Harley, I said I'd give you a shout out. Thanks for hooking us up with the food, mate. Really nice kid. I said I'd give him a bit of a shout out on the show because I know he's watching. Thank you, mate. Really enjoyed the day. It was a good laugh. And yeah, like, I didn't expect this news to come today. I didn't even think they were having this meeting today. It was weird, but it's done now, and it's good news for us. General Foodie says he's been a member for 4 months and he's just renewed. Would the real Adam Matic please stand up? Why are you saying that? I don't know why you're saying that. Someone else has said that as well. Adam, stand up. I don't know why people are telling me to stand up. Right, I see. Kaz, shut up. Stop it. No. I'm not standing up. There's no room. It's quite low here anyway, so I'm being safe. Health and safety. I have to... There you go. It's not been signed off. Sorry, guys. Carry on. Adam, can you please stand up with a super chat, says Stu. I can't, actually, because it's that low here. I've got like a low for the acoustics and everything like that. Low ceiling. No, I'm not standing up. Basically, what it is, I've got my shorts on. It's quite warm today, so it's warm up here. I'm not going to hide anything from you, but I'm definitely not standing up. You can sod that. Kazzy's just thrown me under the bus there. She is going to get full-on payback for that. Trust me. With what we've got planned and what's coming up, yeah, she's getting it. I'm telling you now. So, yeah. Stop getting excited, guys, by me standing up. Okay, Wob says, so in the future, if United have a 100,000-seater stadium, what we can spend from huge revenue will be massive. Wob, yes, it will be huge. I think someone said, like, the Man United calculator, I think we make, 4 to 5 million a match day at Old Trafford now. that's going to be upwards of like 7. So you can imagine United's revenues right now. What was it, about 650 million for the 2022-23 season? Obviously, it's not going to be as much being out of the Champions League going into next season, but still, if United get their act together, spend well this summer and get back in the Champions League, good God, we are going to be miles ahead of everyone. Like, yeah, we still have to fall in line with financial fair play with UEFA, and their percentage is lower. I think theirs is going to come down to about 70%. So I think what clubs will do when it comes to, the big clubs will do when it comes to the maximum that they can use in the Premier League, I don't think anyone will get anywhere near it. If they fall in line with financial fair play with UEFA, it automatically leaves them in line with financial fair play, PSR, in the Premier League. So I think what you'll find is there'll be like that, I think, 60-70% revenue that can be spent on wages, agents' fees and transfer fees. So yeah, that's where I think it will be at. And it's still a substantial amount of money. Like, all United need to do is spend 200 million or somewhat in the right way. And that's not even touching the surface of what we can spend out of our revenues. They have to balance the books. And it's now down to Manchester United to make sure that they use this to their advantage. Like, they can throw it all away and look like complete and utter idiots. Like, we know this club is stupid when it comes to spending money. So that can happen as well. So let's not forget, it's not a given that Manchester United are going to use this to their advantage. But what it does do, it gives us that freedom. And what I think is, just with Ineos in charge now, it just gives me more confidence that the right structure with the extra power in the financial side of things, it just looks a bit better for United going forward. So it is a full-on positive show tonight, isn't it, guys? It really is. Make sure you're liking the video and please hit the subscribe button as well, guys. We are on the road to 50k we're on the road to, but we're nearly at 42, as you can see. Literally just over 50 away. We have well over 500 in the room with us. Everybody like the video. Download our SofaScore app. Bottom right-hand corner, there is a QR code. In the description, there is a link to SofaScore as well. Click on that if you cannot scan the QR code. The best football app out there. It's completely free, guys, and all helps the channel. Trust me, best stats that you'll get. And any members in the house, which there are plenty, I can see you all there in the chat. You are all invited to the watch-along this weekend on TIFO. If you guys want to be part of the members club here on FUTV, it is completely optional to you guys. All donations, all contributions to the channel are more than welcome. I would never force anyone into becoming a member at all. Some people gift a lot of memberships out there, and I love them. They are our best members and our best contributors on the channel. But what we're doing right now, we're building a platform on TIFO for watch-alongs. It is brilliant. It's going really well. And members are all invited to the Bournemouth watch-along this weekend, starting from 5 o'clock. There will be a members video and post going out. Video tonight, and then post will be going out tomorrow as well for you guys, so you know exactly what you need to do to be involved. And just like that, Fred's just dropped a membership in there, taken by Jake. Jake can now join us on Saturday, everyone. Welcome him to the members club, please, members. And Jake, make sure you give Fred a thank you as well while you're at it. We just passed over the 150 like mark. Thank you, guys. Oh, MDR. He's at it. He's gone and done it again. Annie the legend. He's just donated another 10 memberships. Wow. What a man. MDRN Samurai, you absolute legend of the channel. I'm going to read out who has taken them memberships now. It usually takes me a while because YouTube comment section moves so fast. Turbo, G78. Let's see who else we've got. Gricker, K Solo. Josu, Mac, Maracas, 1991, Carried Cooper, Araya, Simon, Costas, John, and who else is that there? I think that's everyone. Yeah, John. Sorry. All the names were spread out. YouTube comments were flying up there, guys. Sorry, I sounded like an absolute idiot reading all them out there. But, guys, welcome to the Members Club. You are all invited again on Saturday, courtesy of the legend that is MDR Samurai, one of our best contributors on the channel. He's a mod as well. and he absolutely loves everybody. No, I mean he loves everybody. Like, he gives so much away, but absolutely immense. Thank you so much, guys. All the members that do contribute and donate memberships like that, I thank you all. It's a big part of why I love this community, and why the FUTV army is the best out there, and why we're doing so well on TIFO. So, yeah, all members, look out for that extra video for you guys later on tonight. That will drop. And obviously, the post, like I said, will come tomorrow as well. Graham is in the house. Hello, Graham. I know Graham is all over financial fair play and will be all over this news as well. It all benefits Manchester United. Other news coming out, Manchester United have acted on the stupid kickoff times by putting on coaches for all travelling Manchester United fans going to Selhurst Park for that bank holiday Monday at 8 o'clock kickoff. It's absolutely ridiculous, like, what they're doing, but it is. United have done what they can. They have acted on it, and they will be saying their piece on why this is happening to United fans. Like, no one is thinking of the fans at all when it comes to these kickoff times. The travelling fans, match-going fans, get absolutely shafted when it comes to kickoff times with United. Thomas McArdle with a super chat. Delighted your channel is doing well, Adam. Thank you, Thomas. I really appreciate that, mates. And thanks for the super chat as well. Please subscribe, guys. We are almost at 42k, only 49 away. If you are just tuning in, make sure that you are fully subscribed in. You can join the chat then. You may even then get dropped in to one of these gifted memberships as well. AC says, good, I saw the stadium before. They're getting a new one, 14-hour flight worth the trip. AC, good to have you around. Glad you got to see Old Trafford. It's not going anywhere yet. I don't think for another... My guess was, new stadium, if they were going to build one, we would be ready to go in, let's say, I reckon 2028-9. I think we will be in a new stadium. That's my guess, going off reports and how long a stadium takes to build, how long it's going to take to plan it out and pass off all of the designs. And let's not forget, Manchester United have a massive project going on right now, and what the task force with Lord Cole, Gary Neville, and everyone else involved, Andy Burnham, they are all over building the infrastructure around the stadium as well. So it is a huge project that's going on right now. And I just feel like it's not going to happen overnight, and I don't think we should expect it to. But the future's looking a lot brighter. Let's just say it as it is. I think we can say that safely. United need to spend on building a real team. Players who will work for each other before spending on a big-name stars. Get the foundations right. That comes, I think, easily if you've got a good structure in place, Mayo. I think with the right scouting, the right people in charge of the finances, giving out these contracts, structuring everything to suit the best for Manchester United, I think that's what's important, and I feel like that is where Manchester United will benefit going forward. For like what you said, like it's not a freeloading summer camp now. It's not players coming at the end of their careers just to get one last paycheck. This isn't the United formula going forward now. It's going to be completely different. And I think everything that's happened today and then everything that Ineos are putting in place, hopefully it's good times. Mac Randy, thank you. Hello to you as well. Good evening, everyone. Hello, Sanjay. Welcome to the show, mate. Rajat, we ain't losing the Bournemouth game. We ain't losing to Bournemouth again, mate. No way. Bournemouth's not an easy place to go. Like, tight ground, things go wrong there. They do. So Manchester United this weekend, like, it's no easy game. We'll be looking into the game in more detail tomorrow on the shows on Friday. We're live outside again tomorrow, guys, as well, so get tuned in for that. Another episode of Avoid the Security Guard at Old Trafford, it may seem. I have done some digging into how things work at Old Trafford as well, so I'll fill you guys in on that one tomorrow as well. Willman United says, Andy Burnham busy with his beat network before the stadium hasn't gone off to a cracking start. To be fair, he's probably pulling his hair out. Liam Whitehouse, aren't the Premier League changing the rules so Manchester City's 115 charge is going away? Well, they can't, because they've already been charged. So, and it's historical, which is why it's taking so long anyway. So any rule changes to PSR won't affect what happens with Manchester City, because that's all historical charges and there's a lot to get through, which is why it hasn't been sorted yet. There's nothing about City getting away with it. All the news about Sheffield United today, Nottingham Forest, Everton and all their charges are completely irrelevant to the City situation and the Chelsea situation. They still have to be they have been investigated, and everything will come to a fore. I think it's this summer the hearing is, and then we'll find out. I think it's next summer when we'll find out what's happening. I know it's long and it's ridiculous, but no, these rule changes don't do anything to what's happening with Manchester City, because it's happened before and years before. So yeah, that's what I think we need to look at and need to make sure that everyone is clear on. It's like they're not getting away with it. Some people may think that they are. The Premier League will be embarrassed if City get away with this right now, and they will look like a complete half-hearted laughingstock and of a federation, to be honest. If this is the case, if they do get away with it, or nothing happens, or it just disappears, which it won't. I'm just going to say no, it won't. It won't. Back to life, back to vitality. Steph is poeting it, and she's on one tonight there with that. Nice one. Yes, guys, we'll be back dodging the security guard tomorrow at Old Trafford. So that's from Kaz. Let me see what else we've got in here. Jonathan says, we need a player like Zlatan to sort the dressing room out. So it was no player power when he was at the club. Like, he had Pogba in line, didn't he? So, yeah, that's a full-on professional footballer right there, Zlatan. That sort of character is everything that United have been missing for years, and that's what we need. So, yeah, it has been a bit of a leadership issue at United. There's been a big problem. It has. Like, we've not had many of them. 5 likes away from the 200 mark. Well done, guys. Keep it up. I think if I mention it now, I think if everyone likes the video, I think we'll crush the 200. So thank you. Well over 500 in the room with us, guys. We've had plenty more subscribers already. More members have dropped in as well. So we've got more of a crowd ready for the watch along this weekend. Another gifted membership right on cue has gone to David Duncan by the General Foodie. Love that, mate. Another absolute legend of the channel right there. 12th member of the show. Wowza. Breaking records every single week. That is what this channel is doing. I love it. Let me see what else we've got in here. What do you guys think to the semi-automatic offside rules? Like, I touched on it briefly at the start of the show, but I wanted to talk into the PSR situation. But I think no-brainer. I think everyone can say that. Like, why the richest league in the world wasn't using this technology in the first place is laughable. It really is. And now we're having it. So, that computerized system that you see with the two cartoon-like characters and the whole sort of like screen coming down with like the body part which is just offside coming in, that's going to be happening next season in the Premier League. It's what UEFA are using in their European competitions. It's what FIFA using all international tournaments. So why we're not using it here in the Premier League is beyond me. So yeah. Adam, Bournemouth striker Dominic Solanke in form. Would you buy him? Yeah, I like Dominic Solanke. I think he's come good. I rate him. I do. I think he's an old school centre forward. And you know what? I'd have Dominic Solanke over Rashford and Martial. So it's an improvement for me. Yeah. I think United can get better. I do, but I mean, I'm not snobbish enough to actually say that Dominic Solanke shouldn't be at Manchester United. Like, I think he has outshone most of our forwards this season in how he's performed, and credit to him as well. The forgotten man from Liverpool, and it took his time. Some people don't hit their straps straight away in the Premier League, and I think Dominic Solanke is definitely a player that proves that over time, players can still progress and become that Premier League striker. They don't have to hit it straight away. That's what I think the message is. Let me see what else we've got in here. I'd rather have AI than Stockley Park. Yeah, easy work now and quicker decisions with the offside rule coming in. I think that's what's important. I I think that's the benefit of this coming in. And I think all Premier League referees as well will have the pressure lifted off them. Like that goal that didn't stand for Liverpool at Spurs this season, that's in. There's other things that are done a lot quicker. I mean, you've seen how quick it is. Like, you only have to watch the games this week in the Champions League and how efficient it is in every single way for the VAR. Sorry, PSR, VAR, FFP. God, the abbreviations are killing me right now. But the VAR in the Champions League, in Europe, in FIFA competitions, it's so much quicker. And it takes so much guessing out of the equation, like drawing lines, like bollocks. Just get something that's going to tell you straight away, job done, let's move on quickly. It's an absolute dead cert for me. Get it in, and let's start making football fun to watch again. Like, it can be done a lot quicker, and I think it benefits the match-going fans just as much as it does the fans watching on TV. Like, they can see it, but at least fans in the stadiums don't have to wait as long and not know what's going on. Why not promote Hugo instead of buying another signing as a centre forward? It's if he's good enough, Raja. It's all right promoting players, but it's like, if you promote him, then you may be taking away some period of improvement from him in terms of what he can do. Like, he could go out on loan and do better. I don't think personally that Hugo has got everything to be a main striker at United. Like, back up, if he's happy to do that, I don't know. I think he can do better elsewhere, personally. I do. I think we should cash in on Rashford. He's got too comfortable. AC, we've been talking about this for weeks, months on end. Rashford's gone for me. I'd get rid of him tomorrow. That Hala lad for Sancho, or even Schuttlebeck from Dortmund. Doing Europa League watch along. No, I'm out tonight, Rajad. So I'm doing Champions League next week and United this weekend. So it gets very busy from the weekend forward, watch along wise, guys. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Tifo is going to be a hotbed of Adamness. Wait, yeah, no, it didn't work, did it? Sorry. Jonathan David would be a decent centre forward to bring in. My man Tim is always banging the drum for Jonathan David. I think someone will pick him up this summer. I think he will get that move away from League One. And I think it might even be the Premier League. So you might be right. It's a good shout. It is a good shout. A good player. A good player. Hugo was crap against Oxford last weekend. West Ham versus Leverkusen tonight. Is that better? That's a better game than Atalanta and Liverpool, isn't it? It is. Yeah. I just feel... Personally, yeah, West Ham Leverkusen. I think West Ham have completely up against it. I think they'll get smashed by Leverkusen. You don't know. You never know. Never say never. But a team that's unbeaten in all competitions this season against West Ham, yeah, I'm going with Leverkusen. I think Xabi Alonso's boys will do that. But yeah, that, guys, is pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Me and Kaz are off out now. It's why we did the earlier show. So I do appreciate you all jumping in a little bit earlier tonight. It's not often that we do go out, so it just worked for us tonight doing it this way. And I just want to say a massive thank you for everyone. It's been a great show. Thank you for listening to me and obviously my explanation of PSR and financial fair play. See, we have an educated crowd here on Forever United TV. It's not all about the crap, fluff and bollocks that goes on other places, on other channels. So, yeah, I appreciate you all joining us. All the new members, people who donated the memberships, the renewed memberships, the super chats, your comments, new subscribers while we've been live. Everybody on FUTV, thank you. I'm going to have a nice slice of pizza and enjoy myself. And I will see you all tomorrow outside of Old Trafford, fighting the security guards yet again. Until then, guys, like, share, subscribe to